This is the story of how international law enforcement hunted down Dmitry Yuryevich Khoroshev, the creator of LockBit, the most destructive ransomware operation in history. This Russian hacker built an empire that terrorized thousands of victims and generated over $1 billion in ransom payments. For years, he operated completely anonymous, mocking authorities and even offering a $10 million bounty to anyone who could reveal his identity. But in May 2024, that anonymity shattered forever.
Through the meticulous work of our investigators and prosecutors, we have unmasked the man behind LockBit Sup. Today we are announcing that Dmitry Khoroshev, a Russian national, is charged in a 26-count indictment with committing and conspiring to commit LockBit attacks.
Meet Dmitry Yuryevich Khoroshev, better known in the criminal underworld as LockBit Sup. This 31-year-old Russian from Voronezh built the most destructive cybercrime operation in history. His creation, LockBit, wasn't just another piece of malicious software. It was a sophisticated criminal enterprise that at its peak was responsible for 44% of all ransomware attacks globally, dwarfing competitors like Alfie Black Hat and the now defunct REvil operation. To understand what Khoroshev built, you need to grasp what LockBit actually was. Khoroshev created what's known as ransomware as a service, essentially a franchise model for cybercrime. He provided the tools, infrastructure, and technical support, while criminal affiliates around the world carried out the actual attacks. In return, Khoroshev took a 20% cut of every ransom payment, while his affiliates kept 80%. Between June 2022 and February 2024 alone, more than 7,000 attacks were launched using LockBit services. The group targeted over 2,500 victims across at least 120 countries, with 1,800 of those victims located in the United States. The financial devastation was unprecedented. Victims paid over $500 million in ransom payments, while the broader economic damage reached into the billions when you factor in lost revenue, recovery cost, and business disruption. LockBit's attacks struck at the heart of critical infrastructure and essential services. It paralyzed the UK's Royal Mail, halting international shipments during the busy holiday season. They attacked Toronto's hospital for sick children, threatening the safety of some of society's most vulnerable patients. They targeted Boeing's supply chain and hit the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, the world's largest bank, disrupting the entire US Treasury market. Each attack followed a similar pattern. LockBit affiliates would infiltrate a victim's network using tools like Cobalt Strike for lateral movement, steal sensitive data with custom malware called StealBit, and then encrypt all accessible files. Victims would find their screens replaced with ransom notes, often printed on every connected printer in their building, a psychological touch that maximized the panic and urgency. The message was always clear: pay the ransom or watch your stolen data get published on LockBit's victim-shaming website for the world to see. What made LockBit interesting was how it evolved over time. The operation began in September 2019 as simple ransomware called ABCD, but Khoroshev continuously upgraded his creation. In June 2021, LockBit 2.0 introduced data exfiltration capabilities, allowing criminals to steal information before encrypting systems. March 2022 saw the launch of LockBit 3.0, which offered customization features that made each attack harder to detect and defend against. Khoroshev also proved to be a master of psychological warfare and marketing. When competitors emerged, he didn't just rely on technical superiority, he created a brand. LockBit began offering people $500 to $1,000 to tattoo the LockBit logo on their bodies, turning human beings into walking advertisements for cybercrime. But law enforcement agencies around the world were quietly building a case. The investigation, dubbed Operation Kronos, brought together agencies from 10 countries, including the UK's National Crime Agency, the FBI, Europol, and the Australian Federal Police. For years, they traced cryptocurrency transactions using blockchain analysis firms like Chainalysis, analyzed malware samples, and infiltrated criminal networks. One of the most fascinating aspects of this investigation involved cybersecurity researcher John DiMaggio. Working for firm Analyst One, DiMaggio spent years creating fake personas to infiltrate LockBit's inner circle. Using multiple sock puppet accounts, he gradually gained the trust of LockBit members, including LockBit Sup himself. Even after burning his cover identities in a January 2023 report, DiMaggio managed to maintain contact with Khoroshev under his real name, providing investigators with unprecedented insight into the operation's inner workings. The breakthrough came on February 19th, 2024, at exactly 4 p.m. Eastern Time. In a coordinated global operation, law enforcement simultaneously struck LockBit's infrastructure across multiple countries. They seized 34 servers, froze over 200 cryptocurrency wallets containing millions of dollars, and obtained 30,000 Bitcoin addresses used to manage the group's profits. Most importantly, they recovered over 1,000 decryption keys, allowing them to help previous victims recover their data for free. The investigation's crowning achievement came 3 months later. On May 7th, 2024, authorities used one of LockBit's own seized domains to reveal what Khoroshev thought would remain secret forever: his real identity. The man who had mocked law enforcement and offered $10 million to anyone who could unmask him was suddenly exposed to the world. The revelation came with a 26-count federal indictment detailing Khoroshev's crimes. Prosecutors alleged that he had personally received at least $100 million in Bitcoin payments from his 20% cut of ransom demands. The charges included conspiracy, computer fraud, and extortion, crimes that could result in decades in prison. Khoroshev's response was immediate and predictable. In an encrypted chat with journalists, he denied being the person identified by authorities, claiming the FBI was bluffing. "I'm not Dmitriev, and I feel sorry for the real Dmitriev," he wrote. "He'll get punished for my sins." But investigators had built an airtight case using blockchain analysis, digital forensics, and human intelligence that traced directly back to him. The takedown had immediate effects. The number of active LockBit members plummeted from 194 to just 69. As trust within the criminal network evaporated. Monthly LockBit attacks in the UK dropped by 73% following the operation. Perhaps the most revealing aspect of Khoroshev's character emerged in the aftermath. According to prosecutors, after the takedown, LockBit Sub actually contacted law enforcement and offered to help them identify competing ransomware groups in exchange for information. He asked authorities to give me the names of my enemies, demonstrating the same opportunistic mindset that had driven his criminal enterprise. The investigation also revealed disturbing truths about LockBit's operations. Despite promising victims that their data would be deleted after ransom payment, investigators discovered that LockBit never actually deleted stolen information. Every piece of compromised data remained in their possession, creating a permanent security risk for victims regardless of whether they paid. As more arrests followed throughout 2024 and 2025, the scope of the criminal network became clear. Rostislav Panev, a 51-year-old dual Russian and Israeli national who developed key components of LockBit's malware, was extradited to the United States in March 2025. Despite being a crucial technical contributor who wrote code to disable antivirus software and deploy malware across networks, Panev had received only $10,000 per month for his services, a fraction of Khoroshev's enormous profits. Today, Dmitry Khoroshev remains at large, likely hiding somewhere in Russia where he enjoys protection from a government that has historically turned a blind eye to cybercriminals. The $10 million bounty for his capture remains active, making him one of the most wanted fugitives in the world. The hunt for the dark web's king of ransomware may be over, but the larger war against cybercrime continues. And somewhere in Russia, a 31-year-old programmer who once commanded a billion-dollar criminal empire now lives as a hunted man. The question is, will he rise again? I hope you enjoyed this video, and it would mean the world to me if you liked the video and subscribed. I make videos about everything ranging from cybercriminals to government-backed hackers, all the way into deep web investigations and ethical hacking tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.